Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for 2016. This is actually for Leos born between August 3rd and August 12th. If you haven't seen the first video or anything on this, I split up all signs into three different parts and basically the decans of astrology, about 10 days in between, for each sign. So this is for Decan 2. Again, if you were born between August 3rd and August 12th or on those days, this is a video for you. If not, you can go to the description below. I have all the dates for all the Leo videos down below so you can find the appropriate video for your birth date. And I've been telling everybody, feel free to watch all three videos as well because I'm sure there will be messages and things like that that will resonate with you in the other two videos. So again, feel free to watch all three videos about Leo. But again, I wanted to create something special for 2016. And I wanted everybody to kind of, I wanted to make them more accurate for each sign. So I figured by splitting them up into the decans, it might be a little bit better for everybody. So let's get right into it. This year, you start off with the Four of Hearts. Great card, represents new things coming into your life, new jobs, new business, pretty much anything new, even new relationships. A lot of the times, Four of Hearts can represent business involving travel, traveling for business, getting a job that involves travel, something a little bit more exciting in your life, kind of something that makes your life a little bit more exciting with this card. It can also represent love coming into the house. Fours are all about the home. They represent the house. So it could represent new relationships coming into the home this year as well. So like moving in with somebody, getting more serious. I would say if that was the case for you, you would have already been dating this person in 2015. It doesn't feel like if you enter into a relationship in 2016, which is very possible here, by the way, for those of you that are still single, very possible, especially with this card. It doesn't feel like there would be any moving in this year in 2016. It would probably be more in the future. But again, if you're coming into 2016 in a relationship, it could get a lot more serious. But you would already have a feeling about this as well. You have a lot of cards here that represent, having feelings and just knowing things. So, you would already kind of have an idea if this were going to happen to you. But, this card right here it's an interesting card. It's about using your charisma even. It's a very, and being charming. It's a card of being charming. A lot of Leos can be pretty charming. So definitely use that this year. It's kind of highlighted, so it's like extra power. But it's also a card of being empathic. It's funny because I hear people talking about like what's the most psychic sign. Everybody says Pisces. If you notice all that and all this other stuff. But I've known a lot of Leos, and a lot of Leos are incredibly empathic. They can pick up on emotions of people really well, which is a very strong psychic ability. That's not like a weak psychic ability. That's a very strong psychic ability. But the one thing you want to know this year, if you're going to be doing that, or if you do that, you find yourself becoming overly emotional, just realize that you need to separate yourself from all the people around you. And you really kind of, this card asks you to kind of like sit with yourself and ask yourself, wait a minute, are these my emotions or are they somebody else's? That can happen to Leos a lot, where they pick up emotions from other people and then like it turns into something more that it doesn't need to. And this card is about it's about that, but it's about, I say this a lot, Leos want to be nurtured, and Leos want to be nurturers as well. They like taking care of people, which is, there's no problem with that. And I'm getting a lot of you have probably been doing that over the past year, even taking care of somebody in your family, or taking care of other people, whatever the case may be. For a small piece of you, I'd say, but for the rest of you, you're not there. You haven't had to take any care of anybody. But if you're in that situation, you need to balance your life with taking care of that person. Again, if you are taking care of somebody in your life, like I said, somebody who needs help, somebody's in the hospital, somebody, whatever the case may be, you need to realize that you don't necessarily need to be the hero here. And there's nothing wrong with stepping up and taking care of people, but the card here asks you to create more balance. It says, maybe you're just caring a little bit too much, and that might sound insensitive, but sometimes we just you can't fix everything, and that's okay, and that's what this card says. So if you are in like some sort of situation like that, again, it's popping up, so that's why I'm talking about it. So it must be important for somebody out there, but just know that this card can lead to some expectations where you expect people maybe to act a certain way, maybe in your family or something, to help you take care of this person, whatever the case may be. But this card says those are your expectations, and not everybody else believes what you do, so you kind of need to take a step back and look at the whole situation. The next card you have is the Jack of Spades. Jack of Spades, great card, all about charging forward towards something kind of with like a youthfulness as well. So a lot of you could be getting that new job or a new business, starting a new business, something exciting like that. And it would make you feel more youthful. Like, the past few years have been weighting Leo down really heavy and probably hasn't been that great. But the Jack of Spades comes in and it kind of gives you this like youthful energy where that you maybe haven't felt in a long time, where you just want to charge forward and you really want to make something happen. And I'll tell you, with the Jack of Spades, you can you can absolutely do that. Jack of Spades, probably the most mature Jack in the deck. He has a great level of maturity that the other Jacks do not. So take advantage of that as well. Also, balance, definitely have some fun this year. It is coming up a lot. You have two Jacks, plus you have a Joker at the end. All about needing to have fun, all about needing to separate. Again, kind of like that Four of Hearts. I focus on that card for a long time. It's really important. It's all about separating and realizing what's really important in your life and realizing what you need to do. That can be the Jack of Spades as well. Next, you have the Jack of Diamonds coming up, and I get a lot of you are just going to be very business focused this year, very work focused this year as well. Jack of Spades adds like a whole. I mean, Jack of Diamonds adds this whole like leveling, grounding element to everything that you're doing. So it'll kind of ground you out, which is nice. It'll control your emotions in business, which is also nice. It won't be so up and down or anything like that this year. It'll kind of ground you out, like I said. But the thing I like about the Jack of Diamonds is he is the only Jack in the deck that wants to be the king. He wants to reach the top. He wants to be number one. He truly wants that. I've been saying for a long time on Leo videos, and I think you guys really want to reach the top. You do want to truly be successful in life. Other signs and stuff say they want to be successful, but, they don't necessarily prove it. But Leo, I think you have a chance to prove it with this Jack of Diamonds this year, that you truly want to be successful and you want to work for it. Again, the other Jacks, they can get stuck being a Jack and they won't move up to being a king. But the Jack of Diamonds pretty much always becomes the king. So you have that ability this year. Next, you have the Seven of Diamonds. It came up for the first Leo video I did for Decan 1 of Leo, and I'm sure it'll come up for the next one as well. This is fear of things happening about money. So don't have fears around money. Think positively. These fears are old fears, by the way. Seven of Diamonds represents fears from our past, that things happened in our past regarding money or regarding a money type situation. Something bad happened, and maybe this year a similar situation will happen. But this year it's different. Not only do you know better ways to handle the situation because you already learned it in the past, but it will be much more minor, or it won't be a big deal, or just nothing will happen at all. Again, these are internal fears. Sevens are all about internal fears that don't exist in the real world. So, calm your fears. Don't have those fears. Think positively with this card. Next, you have the Two of Clubs. A couple other signs have been getting this card. It's very interesting. This card's about stretching yourself. It's about doing something that kind of scares you a little bit, and even giving yourself that little push. What I'm really getting, and it came in very strongly just there when I was talking about it, is that I'm actually getting that you need to do something in your job or in your business, or to get a job or to start a business. If fear is holding you back, then you need to do something like, and I'm getting small wins. It's funny, I think I got this in for my December videos for Leo. I think I heard that as well, small wins. And it took me a while to figure out what that meant, but, while in those videos, for those monthly videos, or it might have been a weekly, I apologize, but it definitely came up for Leo before in the past. It was called small wins. It's all about giving yourself small wins. That's what it is, to build confidence. So if you used to do something in the past and now you've kind of shied away from it and now you're scared to do it or whatever, just give yourself a small win. Just give yourself something little, and then the next day give yourself something a little bit bigger, and then a little bit bigger. It's all about creating these small wins with the Two of Clubs is what I'm getting, which is not traditionally its meaning, by the way, but it's coming in so strongly that I have to talk about it because it's very important. But give yourself small wins, and anywhere where you're trying to build your confidence, and those small wins will just snowball, and then you'll be all set, right away, right at the beginning of the year. Even you could do this very quickly. Next, you have the ten of Spades. all about letting something go. Uh, Ten of Spades, like I say, and I said this came up for Leo's the first Leo video as well. Leos have been through it, and that's what this card represents. It's kind of like the ten of wands, the ten of swords, and the death card in the tarot all like combined. So it represents the burden of carrying the ten of wands, like carrying a heavy burden. You have a bunch of swords in your back from battles, and the good news is that you're moving out of them, kind of like the death card. It's like you're kind of being renewed this year, and entering into a new time where you can experience some better times this year with this card. So just know that. But again, this card can be a card of fears holding you back as well. So please definitely watch the fears, and don't allow them to consume you. Finally, you have one of my favorite cards in the deck, the Joker. It's a superpower card about being able to juggle multiple things at once. Even if you have a business, having multiple businesses. If you have a job, but then you end up starting a side business. Or, this can be juggling anything. It can be juggling relationships as well. But, it's all about being able to handle a lot on your plate and not have it be too overwhelming. Kind of like we were talking about with that Four of Hearts. I think you're going to learn how to balance things out this year. You're going to learn how to balance those emotions. You're going to realize expectations. The word expectations is bouncing around my head like crazy right now as well. It was through the beginning of the reading. And I think what you're going to learn is that, your expectations are not what other people's expectations are. So, just having, coming to these conclusions about what people should do and all this other stuff, I think you're going to start leaving that stuff behind, and you're going to realize that you are in control of yourself, and that's it. And once you realize that, it's like, you're good to go. So all in all, incredible year for you. Thank you for watching, and definitely enjoy it.